So what's on tap for today, folks? Well, we have got another reaction video, and this is Congresswoman Nancy Mace questioning various witnesses about extreme rhetoric that is being put out on social media, especially against people in government, Supreme Court, basically for doing their jobs. And she's saying it's on both sides, right, left, conservative, Democrat, Republican. It's on both sides of the aisle. And especially, she's going to be questioning Alejandro Caraballo, who is an LGBTQIA plus ABCDEFG constituent member. And it's going to be a great video to watch and react to, folks. But if you haven't already done so, it's your first time here, we want you to subscribe to the channel, and you're watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I'm your guest for today, the guest host. My name is Dr. Shaikh. So let's get right into this video, folks. And if you haven't already done so, as I said, subscribe, notifications, like, share, and follow. You know what to do. Let's get to that video right now.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I agree about social media and the comments today about it being an extremist recruitment tool, but I see it, I believe, from both sides of the aisle. Threats to our democracy come from those who seek to undermine our Constitution and our three branches of government. We've got to take a stand to support the Constitution and the rule of law against those who debase our society with violence or harassment of government officials carrying out their constitutional duties, for example. I have a few simple yes or no questions I would like to ask the panelists today. My first one is, do you believe that rhetoric, that rhetoric is a way to inflict harm on our democracy, people's words? Mr. Ward, yes or no?
Yes.
Mr. Siegel?
Yes.
Ms. Caraballo?
Yes. This is Astronomani.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Tyler? Ms. McCord?
Yes.
Is rhetoric on social media a problem and a threat to our democracy, Mr. Ward?
Yes, absolutely.
Mr. Siegel?
Yes.
Ms. Caraballo?
Yes.
Ms. Numani?
Yes.
Ms. Tyler?
Yes.
Yes.
Another question I have, do you believe that rhetoric targeting officials with violence for carrying out their constitutional duties is a threat to democracy, Mr. Ward? Mr. Siegel?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I just have to say that this is one of the few times where I watch these videos to do reactions, and you always have senators and congressmen and congresswomen, asking the witnesses questions and say, just give me a yes or no. And you never hear a yes or no to one question. Here, Congressman Nancy Mace, she's asked 3 questions. And I'm just surprised and amazed that she's gotten, 15 yeses. And that's it. No commentary, no, well, I don't know. Let me think about it. Let me decide. It's in context. It's this or that. So I have a feeling that there's more coming up here. Let's see what Nancy has in store for us.
All right, thank you very much. Only a few weeks after the attempted attack on a Supreme Court justice on June 25th, one of the witnesses, Alejandro Caraballo, tweeted out the following in response to a decision on abortion overturning Roe v. Wade, and I'll quote directly from the tweet. "The 6 justices who overturned Roe should never know peace again. It is our civic duty to accost them every time they're in public. They are pariahs. Since women don't have their rights, these justices..."
So one of these witnesses, Alejandro Caraballo, who she's questioning here, said the 6 justices who overturned Roe should never know peace again. It is our civic duty to accost them. Accost. I mean, look up the word accost, meaning, to literally go after somebody, right? I mean, that's her words here, to accost them every time they're in public. They're pariahs. Since women don't have their rights, these justices should never have a peaceful moment in public again. Oh, and after she answered 3 times to those questions, right? Saying that words and rhetoric and on social media are a problem, oh, this is going to be good, folks.
Should never have a peaceful moment in public again. I know something about being accosted. The night of
Take a look at over here. Here you've got the chairman of the committee. It's a Democrat. He's like going, oh my God. Oh, geez, this is not going to go well. Oh, boy.
January 5th, I was physically accosted on the streets of DC in Navy Yard by a constituent of mine. I fervently blamed rhetoric on social media, rhetoric at public events, for being physically accosted. I carry a gun everywhere I go when I am in my district and I'm at home, because I know personally that rhetoric has consequences. I've had my car keyed. I've had my house spray painted. I had someone trespass in my house as recently as August. I've been doxxed on social media about where I live. And I've had to add to security everywhere I go. Often, because I can't afford it, I have to carry my own firearm wherever I go. And Alejandra...
You know, folks, that's just unfortunately the way it is nowadays. I mean, here it is, a congresswoman, and she has to carry her own protection, has to carry her own gun because she's been doxxed. They put out where she lives, you know. She's got to be careful every time she steps out in the public arena against, you know, whoever could be out there, basically. And that's what they talk about, that this rhetoric, the words that we use when we're on social media, you know, unfortunately, there are some people out there that just are, you know, mentally unstable. And it doesn't take a lot to trigger these people or whatever. And so she's got an unbelievable story, you know, behind her as to where she's been victimized. She's been accosted. You know, she's been, as he said, you know, gone after by people in her district or whatever. So she's got to carry protection.
Caraballo also recently tweeted on November 19th, not even a month ago, that the Supreme Court, vested with the judicial power of the United States by our Constitution, stated they are not a legitimate court issuing decisions. And also the Supreme Court is an organ of the far right. So my last question today of Ms. Caraballo, do you stand by these comments, this kind of rhetoric on social media? And do you believe it's a threat to democracy?
Thank you, Representative, for the opportunity to clarify.
Okay. Look at her. Look at her hands. Look at her face. She is squirming in her seat right now. And I'd be willing to say that, you know, she might be really, really this close, all right, to peeing in her pants. Because all of a sudden, she knows the crapola is about to hit the fan, or actually it's already hit the fan, and now she's basically got to find a way to turn the fan off and clean the crap off. And there's not much cleaning material available for her to do so. I don't think there's going to be.
Thank you, Representative, for the opportunity to clarify and provide context to my tweets.
I have a question, is it yes or no? Do you believe your rhetoric is a threat to democracy when you're calling to accost a branch of government, the Supreme Court?
I don't believe that's a correct characterization
What you
of my
tweeted,
statements.
Did you not tweet that? That you thought that the Supreme Court justices should be accosted?
What I'm saying
tweet
is
that,
that
yes or
that is
no?
not an
Did you tweet
accurate characterization of my statements.
On June 8th of this year, a man was arrested near Justice Brett Kavanaugh's home in Maryland. He told law enforcement officers he wanted to kill a Supreme Court justice. He was found with a knife, with a pistol, 2 magazines, ammunition, pepper spray, zip ties, a hammer, crowbar, and duct tape. The threats that members of Congress, the threats that branches of government face on the left and the right, as was mentioned by the chairman earlier in the committee hearing, what happened to the speaker's husband is every member's worst nightmare. So it's clear to me that we have to call out the threats to our democracy emanating from wherever they come, whether it's the right or the left. It is incumbent upon on every one of us to call it out on both sides of the political spectrum and recommit ourselves to the Constitution and the rule of law. I look forward to working with anyone, Republican or Democrat, as you know, Mr. Chairman, to address these threats from within and without. And I look forward to inviting more people who actually know what they're talking about to our witness panels in the 118th Congress. Thank you, and I yield back.
Thank you.
Oh, she just went ahead and she just absolutely, you know, she got her little dig in to Alejandro or whatever. But just goes to show you, folks, it just goes to show you that every time you hear this stuff coming from the Democrat side, coming from the left, and it is so much more coming from the left, folks, the violence, the rhetoric, the words, the hatred, the racism, the bigotry, all the isms, all of it, it's coming from the left, but they project it onto the right because they know they're the ones that are doing it all. And Alejandro, Calabarro, Miss Calabarro or Bello, she got caught with her proverbial pants down, basically, after she was saying yes, yes, yes to, oh yeah, of course, rhetoric is, violent rhetoric is bad, to say things, to tweet things that suggest violence is bad. And then all of a sudden she gets faced by seeing two of her own tweets that are basically telling people to cause physical injury, physical harm to government officials. She knew exactly that she was in the hot seat right there. She was in the toilet, basically, and Nancy just set her up beautifully, beautifully, led her right into it, basically, So good for her. Anyways, we hope that you enjoyed that video. We appreciate you taking the time to watch. And if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel. You've been watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I've been your host. My name is Dr. Shaikh. And subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button, like, share, and follow us. You know what to do. And I'll leave you as I always do with my final thought, which is when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. We'll see you again next time, folks. Take care and stay safe.